Welcome back to your Sunday Setup. I'm Whitney. Last week, we talked about becoming the person who can hold the life you want, expanding your identity so success doesn't overwhelm you. This week, we're narrowing that focus to one critical form of capacity, emotional capacity. Because here's something we don't say often enough. It's rarely the workload alone that exhausts us. It's the emotional weight we carry while doing it. And that emotional weight is often what turns a normal Monday into Sunday night dread. Today, we're talking about how to live with emotional capacity instead of emotional reactivity, so that you can enter your work week steady, grounded, and clear. Let's begin by centering. Take a slow breath in and release it fully. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. If you'd like, close your eyes. Silently repeat, I do not have to react immediately. I can pause. I can choose steadiness. One more breath in. And as you let it out, gently open your eyes. Now, imagine your emotional system as a cup. If you've listened to me for any amount of time, here or in other contexts, you've likely heard me say, you can't pour from an empty cup. And that's true. But there's another side to that truth. You also can't manage your emotions from a cup that's already full. And those are two very different problems, and they require two very different responses. When your cup is empty, you're depleted. You need restoration. You need to pour into yourself. When your cup is full, you're overloaded. You need space. You need relief. You need to stop adding more. When your cup is nearly empty, rested, grounded, not carrying excess tension, you can absorb pressure, feedback, and stress without spilling over. But when it's already full, from overwork, lack of sleep, unresolved conversations, unspoken resentment, even a small drop causes overflow. But here's the thing. The issue isn't the drop. It's the capacity of the container. Emotional reactivity happens when our cup is already full. Emotional burnout happens when our cup stays empty too long. Emotional capacity grows when we do both. Replenish what's been depleted, reduce what's unnecessarily filling us, and expand the container so we can hold more without spilling. And emotional maturity is learning to ask, am I depleted? Am I overloaded? Or am I simply unpracticed at holding discomfort calmly? And that distinction changes everything. Because sometimes the answer is self-care. Sometimes the answer is boundaries. And sometimes the answer is growth. A lot of what we start to feel Sunday afternoon or evening, the Sunday Scaries, aren't about tasks. They're not about the things that we have to do. They're about anticipation of a difficult meeting, a tense relationship, feedback you're bracing for, pressure you're carrying. When we lack emotional capacity, we personalize small things, escalate quickly, replay conversations, carry stress into the next day. But when capacity grows, something shifts. You pause before responding. You don't over-identify with tone, and you let small stressors stay small. And suddenly, the work week feels less threatening. Not because it changed, because you did. So, let's explore 3 strategies to address your capacity to respond rather than react. First, expand your pause window. Reactivity lives in immediacy. Capacity lives in the pause. Before responding, breathe, delay, clarify. You don't have to answer every message instantly. You don't have to match someone else's urgency. The pause protects your peace. Second, stop personalizing what isn't yours. Not every sharp tone is about you. Not every stress response is a reflection of your worth. Ask, what else could be true? Is this about me or about their load? Emotional capacity means refusing to internalize what doesn't belong to you. And third, discern what your cup actually needs. Capacity isn't built in the moment of stress. It's built in discernment, in your daily check-ins and meditation sessions. Ask yourself, am I exhausted? Then you need restoration. Am I overloaded? You need boundaries. Am I growing? You need to practice holding discomfort calmly. Sleep builds capacity. Boundaries build capacity. Staying present in hard conversations builds capacity. But only when applied to the right problem. Let me make this real. It's Wednesday. A colleague sends a blunt email. Your nervous system reacts instantly. And here's your old pattern. You fire back, or you spiral, or you replay it all night. Let me give you a new pattern. You pause. You ask, what's my cup level right now? Am I depleted, overloaded, or reacting out of habit? You realize you're already emotionally full from earlier stress. So, you don't respond immediately. You step away, you regulate, you respond later, clearly, calmly, without escalation. Nothing dramatic happened, but everything changed. That's emotional capacity in practice. And that's how work weeks become lighter. Not because stress disappears, but because you can hold it differently. So, next week, we build on this even further. Because even with emotional capacity, life remains uncertain. Deadlines shift, leaders change, plans unravel. In episode 77, we'll talk about how to create internal stability when external conditions are unpredictable. because steadiness isn't about certainty. It's about grounding. Well, thank you for spending this time with me. You don't need a different workload to have a better week. You need a larger emotional container, and that container is something you can build. If you're ready to intentionally grow your capacity, not just manage stress, but transform how you hold it, this is the work I support through coaching and structured accountability. And if you want a daily practice to strengthen emotional steadiness, the Mindful 5 offers short, accessible resets designed for real life and real work weeks. Learn more at themindful5.com. Here's to responding instead of reacting and stepping into your week steady, grounded, and clear. And until next time, take care.